Keep it cooking in the oven. The oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. The oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. Smells good. The oven.
The oven.
Yep.
Ooh, Daddy.
Welcome to This is the Oven Podcast. Let's get it started.
Wait, who are you?
I'm Bowman.
You're Richie.
I'm Rich.
That's Richie. That's Rich and Famous right there.
Yeah. And who we got doing the cuts today? We got Bert over there. We got Pete over here.
We got Bert Peterson behind me.
Yep.
He's a long time barber. How long have we been doing this for now, Bert? Probably 16, 17 years together?
this year.
20 years for you?
Correct, yes.
So I came in when you were 3 years into it, huh?
Touch me.
Yes.
I was
about that.
just about when my mom was letting me ride my bike longer than around the corner. So,
And then your innocence was non-existent past
oh my God. We were the youngest kids allowed in the shop.
by far.
That was actually a great time. That was the Barber's Lounge.
Correct. Yeah.
Were you ever a Barber's Lounge boy, Mario?
I was never a Barber's Lounge boy.
Where'd you start at? You were
I
like
started Larry's Barbershop.
Yeah, you
baby.
did. I remember
Oh,
Larry's.
That's where I started.
A lot
Made
of
my
my
way-
co-workers work there as well.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
Made my way over here to Rich and
cutting
Famous. Got Pete. Pete, how long you been cutting hair?
Close. It's about 25 years.
25
probably.
years. He's a vet. All right, right off the bat, I got a question for you. And for whoever doesn't know, I'm Mario, and that bum over there is Franco.
Mully season, baby. Mully season. The kid with the volume over here.
Voluminous. Bert,
Yes.
other than a mullet, what's your least favorite haircut to cut?
Flat top.
Flat top.
Correct.
What about you, Pete?
Favorite haircuts?
Your least favorite, and I guess give me your favorite
Oh,
too.
least. I have no at least one. I can do anything.
Oh, he does it all.
As long as I have a person that can do something about his face. Otherwise,
Yeah, so I got to ask you, man. Do you charge him extra for the therapy session that comes with the haircut?
well, we always undercharge Mario for the services he gets. So far, we're not getting anywhere. But
You made it on the podcast, baby.
I heard he's on retainer, so you can come here whenever you want, whenever you have your feelings.
definitely been a long journey.
Is it tough to cut when Mario's got a widow's peak that's coming from around the corner? Is that a yes?
I don't even notice that he has one.
What? Oh, see, that's a good barber. He's
got my back.
he's not putting you down. He's making you feel good about it.
Pete's Team Mario for sure.
Bert doesn't have to worry about that just yet.
Yeah. I speak the truth.
So, what were your guys' first jobs before you were barbers?
I did a lot. Anything from bartending to waitering to lifeguard to many other things.
You're lifeguard, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Where at?
Out there saving lives.
Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Correct.
God bless. And what about you? What was your first job?
Same thing. I've been cutting hair for a long time.
Really?
Yeah,
So lifetime barber. I love that.
lifetime bar.
Barber was your first job?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mario, what was your first job?
My first job, like other than like a baseball camp growing up or something?
Yeah,
like
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Fucking.
Something I had to sign papers
As
for.
soon as the day after we graduated high school, my dad said I had to go to work. I was working in the sewers.
Working
That's it. I was a laborer. 731 in the 5 boroughs. I didn't know if I remember my first week. I'll never forget it. I broke something my first day, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Oh, they're gonna take that out of your check." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know. I had no idea how much anything costs. And then like at the end of the day, he's like, "Bro, I was fucking with you. They're not taking it out of your check."
Yo, one of my first days, there was actually a new kid on like the laborers union that we were working with, and the guys gave him a black garbage bag, and they told him that the pipe was leaking, and they had to catch the air, and they had this kid running around with the black garbage bag, snagging the air. We were fucking peeing our pants, bro.
The air coming out of the pipe.
No, it wasn't. But they gave him a black garbage bag and were like, "You have to fix this. You have to catch the air coming out." And he was trying to catch it and tie it up.
Oh my god. What haircut you getting over there, Frank?
Bert, talk about it a little bit. Let me know what you're doing over here.
The Joe Dirt, every kid right now that, lives in a beautiful home but wants to look like an 80s person running from an episode of Cops with the ripped Budweiser t-shirt, ripped jeans.
You've been fucking thinking about this.
No, Franco, you look like you're from Levittown.
We've been working this mullet for, it's got to be like 9-10 weeks now. And it's a gang. It's it. We're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You unfortunately couldn't even rock the mullet because it would be starting above your forehead.
No, my hair, if I grow it out, immediate afro.
Me too, though, kind of.
Crazy.
This is just,
I talk a lot of shit about you, but you got a nice head of hair. I'll give
He
you that.
definitely has a nice head
Yeah.
of hair. It's an easy canvas to work with.
Hey,
Now, you charge him extra because his head is so big, or?
Nah, flat rate.
Oh.
I was actually talking about this. I was driving home from work today, and I'm sitting there, holding the wheel, and my head is back like this on the headrest. Do you use the headrest when you drive?
Me?
Yeah, and does it? I feel like no
Probably
one
not.
really uses the headrest.
No, I do.
Do you?
Yeah. I think I do.
I like had to like
It
give
depends
my.
if I'm relaxed.
Well, yeah, I was
I'm
very
just sitting up
relaxed.
straight. The back of my head is touching the headrest.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. What about you, Pete?
I don't.
He does use the headrest.
See, I feel like I
He
gotta
doesn't
give
use
my neck.
condoms either.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with Mario. I was surprised.
He's like, bring condoms tonight. I was like,
Condoms are for kids
Condoms are
and
for
water
who?
balloon fights. Let's be honest. We're all grown men. Who wants a condom?
kids and water balloon fights. I love that.
Mario's taking that home with him, by the way.
Yeah, I'm stealing
Absolutely.
that one. I'm stealing that
I
one.
dropped some gems. Keep your ears perked.
I'm going to dust off my condoms at home, and I'm going to use that.
Well, fuck.
Pete, what haircut am I getting? What are we doing with the beard? Let
You're
him know.
basically getting high skin fade. Hopefully this weekend you're gonna have a sand chance to get even with the.
Shut the fuck up.
So you guys have both been cutting hair for, call it 20 years, 20 plus years at this point, right?
Yeah.
I know you got some crazy, crazy stories that have come out of the barbershop. What's like, when I say like your craziest story, what's the first thing you think of, Bert?
You mean crazy funny,
I would
crazy
say
violent, crazy sexual? You
Give it
got to
to
be a
us
little bit
all.
more
Give it,
specific.
blow our minds.
Yeah, Mario's looking for sexual.
Yeah.
Preferably sexual.
This is a pretty good one. So one of the barbers that we were working with decided to sleep with one of the client's wives. And this is someone that you shouldn't be sleeping with his wife. And at that time, there was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu spot a few doors over. So one of the guys that trains there decided to come and train, but ended up getting beat up by the guy's wife. The wife, her husband, him, and a whole bunch of guys, and it wasn't even the right guy. So the guy came in the next day, all beat up, and was like, "Hey, it was one of your barbers. I'm not going to put his name out there. Does he work here? Yeah. Well, I got beat up because her husband and a bunch of his guys came looking for him. So that was kind of crazy."
Oh my God.
Another time, somebody owed somebody money that was working at the shop. Just came in and tuned them up real bad with like one of those like crowbar type of things.
Oh.
This was back in the day at Barber's Lounge,
Yeah,
for sure.
Barber's Lounge. Yeah,
What,
yeah, right there. Yeah.
What's your reaction? Like, how do you react to a situation like that? What'd you do in that crowbar situation?
Just another day. Even another time, I'm over here. I have a client in the chair. I look this way, and some kid just walks by and punches him twice in the face and walks out the door. And I was like, all right, and then I just continued the haircut and went about my day,
So, New Year's just passed, right?
Right.
When do you stop saying Happy New Year to people?
January 2nd. You know what I mean? That time came and passed.
I would say I'm giving it to like Friday. So
Friday?
yeah.
What's Friday's date? Is that because it's the
January,
first Friday after?
yeah, first Friday after.
First Friday after? What about you, Pete?
I stopped saying it right after New Year.
The day after.
Yeah.
See, I think it's situational.
I knew you were gonna go
like if I'm giving someone a kiss that it means a lot to me, I didn't text them, but I haven't seen them, and it's like 3 weeks later. Like if I see them for my birthday, and I didn't see them before, Happy New Year. For sure. My birthday is January 18th. I'd still say Happy New Year. It depends who it is, how I'm feeling,
I think by like the second week of December, you should start saying Happy Holidays. By January 2nd,
You're out.
Yeah. Put everything, all your decorative stuff, New Year.
So how do you remember this year? What's the best thing that happened to you?
Best thing that happened has got to be this podcast, man. I mean, me and Franco had an idea, and we ran with it. And
This is the most memorable one so far?
Most memorable. I mean, the being able to do the podcast with Franco all year long. And we had an idea, we ran with it. We met people we never thought we would ever meet.
Yep.
We've had experiences that we weren't expecting, and we're making people laugh. Honestly, like when we get these messages from people and we've never even met them before in our lives, like it's a really cool feeling. Like we're having such a positive impact on somebody's day, and that honestly that didn't even occur to me. Like that was going to be a thing that I would have such an impact in someone's life over a silly video of me and Franco talking about water. You know, and to do it alongside my best friend since 6th grade, I mean, it's a really cool feeling.
That's great.
Yeah. No, I
You
have to
definitely
agree, man.
change as a person too. Maybe Franco noticed too, isn't it?
Yeah. Trust me, this kid's a roller coaster. He's
My
got-
life, yeah.
He's,
I don't know how much you know about him, but if I remind you certain things, probably he only shares with his barber.
throw some of them out there.
No, let's not. Let's not.
Because what doesn't get said in
Come on,
here,
that's patient-client privilege, okay? You can't be giving out my information.
That's true. I don't hold any license. So
what's your guys' biggest pet peeve of when someone sits in the chair? I know for me, you used to yell at me too, and Salon John used to yell at me too. If I used to sit down, I'd still have my hoodie on.
There's a few things.
God forbid this kid takes his fucking hoodie off one time.
Wouldn't
If
get
somebody
him out
always
with a
is like looking down at the phone like all the time,
Yeah.
that kind of gets annoying.
You've actually yelled at me for that before. He's like, dude, pick the phone up. He's like, look at it where I'm cutting you. That actually makes sense.
Franco's got to answer those texts.
You know,
Yeah, I got it. People like when you're speaking to them, they got to turn their head all the time. Or if they're like, there's a client next to them and there's two people talking side by side and you're trying to line up their beard, but they're trying to have a conversation. And then when there's other people waiting and you're like, we don't get paid by the hour. So like time is of the essence,
Yep,
you know what I
yep.
mean? And especially living in New York, a lot of people don't have time to wait. So,
sure.
you know.
No, I mean, I if Pete's in a certain spot, I hold the conversation no matter who says something to me from outside the chair. I mean,
Yeah.
I got to let him do his thing.
Another one would be also, I feel like when the parent, before you even put on the cape, they're like, don't worry, it's almost over. It's like, no, we haven't even started. So like, you know, that's one of the ones that kind of, yeah.
You cut any kids? You guys cut like young kids?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Rich and Famous, I know they cut my nephews. I mean, they're great here with kids.
That's what Richie does.
Yeah, Richie cuts my nephews.
Richie has such a great story. He
about-
was cutting this hair. He was on an autistic spectrum on a floor holding by 3 people.
Oh, really?
That was tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough
I know my nephew has autism, and it depends what how he's feeling for that day
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah, I have plenty of clients too with autism, and you just got to work with them, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But sometimes the parent also has to be realistic. You can't put like his jersey number on one side of his head and a hard line that's straight when the kid's trying to bite you and kick you and
Yes.
everything
That's
like that.
true.
You got to be
Yes.
realistic.
That's a hard one,
You
yeah.
know, and then they want
Yeah.
like a city outline in the back. It's just too much. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Could you do a city outline on the back of me? You got plenty canvas back there.
You ever do a symbol or anything in your head, Frank?
So when we were in college, we had the kid GC that would cut our hair, and he lived with me too, so he cut my hair for free, which is great. We cut it every week. I would do the wild thing. It was kind of just like this, but we would have the 2 lines here and the 2 lines in the back. And Coach fucking hated it, but I think that made me like it even more. So we always kept those going, unless like we would get a loss and then we would shave them and have to redo them next week.
Gotcha. As you should.
Yeah, little reset. You ever had anything in your head? I know, like when you probably went to like Cooperstown or something like that, right?
Had a tournament in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And before Myrtle Beach, all the guys were like, yo, get your number on the back of your head. So everyone got their number on the back of their head.
Good old.
Not your body count, your jersey number.
So, Mario, what's the best advice you got from your barber so far?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Pete. Why are we going to talk
Yo,
about
he's hitting
this
that
shit?
deep shit already. I love it. Come on, Pete.
Oh, my God. The best
Yo, Pete,
advice.
don't hold back, man.
I don't know. You know what he says to me last week? And I've been thinking about it ever since. I'm like, I don't even know what this fucking means, this guy. He speaks in riddles. You know, like Jesus Christ has the he talks in like, what are they called?
Yo, so break
Not
that Da
fables.
Vinci Code, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the scriptures, whatever it is. And Pete, I've been thinking about it ever since. He's like, sometimes you're so smart, you're like your own worst enemy. What the fuck does that, and how does that help me, Pete?
So,
But the fact that like resonated and
That's kind of
and it hit
wisdom
home.
speaking. See,
That's
when
true.
you're
So-
younger, a lot of times you're just a dumb fuck, to be honest with you. And as you get older, you smarten up, and then you start to look from the outside, and then you see younger people making the same mistakes you did, and sometimes you want to get in the ear. So hopefully they don't have to live through the same things.
that's true.
That's
so
the best advice my barber's given me.
So far, I hope that Mario will remember the best advice he got. I said, when you have no expectations, you're not going to get disappointed. So far, he didn't learn anything yet.
I guess. All right, Mr. Miyagi, I gotta get better.
But I understand that analogy. Have you ever, like, when one of your buddies is like, this is the best movie ever, so great, so good, but then your expectations are right here, and then you go, and you're like, because you already set, like, such a high bar.
No, listen, I totally agree.
100%.
You know what I mean? So if someone's like, oh, it's good, then you go in there, and then you might actually walk out excited because you didn't set such a high bar.
Of course. So I'll give you one realistic example and, a raunchy example. So
Jude Chow.
I stopped looking at menus before I go to a restaurant that I'm excited about. Because I don't want to think about the dishes, and I'm like, I get there and it's not what I thought. So immediately, even if it's a good dish, it wasn't what you thought, so you're fucking let down. So I love just hearing the specials the night of and look at the menu the night of and blowing my mind. And then next, you never, ever, ever tell a girl that you have a big dick. Because her idea of big might be bigger than your idea of big. Yeah. So you
Wait.
Even if you are big.
Wait a second. Which girl? we were just talking about a food menu, and who are you talking about?
No, because expectations.
Yeah, back to expectations. I like how you're jumping around. I still got what you're saying.
Oh my God, you just took a left turn.
Hair's falling in my mouth.
So sometimes just pull down your pants and just let her make that assumption.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I always say I'm average. Say I'm average because she's like, oh, he's average. And then if she thinks it's big, she's happy about it. But if you say you're big, and that's not big to her because her boy had a hog before that, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. So Mario, I'm saying it. How do you tell the girl, so I would like to introduce to something not so spectacular, but I do my best?
he just takes it out and goes like
that
this.
works too. That works too. You let him be like,
That means you're keeping her less disappointed because she has no expectations to see something.
Exactly.
Well, if she thinks you got a small dick after you sleep with her, then you just tell her, if she's like, it's the best sex you ever had, be like, I've had better. So then you guys, it's just like an even playing field. So she's disappointed in one way, and then you are too.
I have never. What kind of girls are you dating?
That's right.
The girls looking at him like, hey, how big's your cock?
You know my life. What kind of girls am I dating?
I have never had a girl look at me, especially like that we're dating, like, hey, how big's your dick? It's like not like Mario's sitting like, hey, it's not that big, but when you see it later, don't be disappointed.
I've told you this before. Never, ever, ever tell a girl you have a big dick. Ever.
No, but I think it comes in conversation. By your second or third drink, you're at the bar, you're fucking around, and then the girl's like, oh, you have a big dick, and then, you can kind of get into it from there.
You never been at work or something?
Yeah.
And the girls are like, oh, your dick looks big in those jeans or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you guys working? Mario's got. Yeah.
Mario, you want to do a collabo on OnlyFans, me and you, buddy?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll throw my feet on there.
I'll slut myself out for the podcast.
We'll do a hot ball shaving here right now, right after your haircut.
That's some Salon John shit, isn't
Yo, it'll make it look bigger for you. Don't worry.
Yo, I'd have to get my asshole waxed.
Look at Mario's head right now.
What's wrong with my head?
I'm telling you, I work with a very difficult case.
Oh man. I figured I would treat today like, a nice little relaxation day for me. I had an awful day at work this morning. I got home.
Franco said Fridays off the whole year. He's like, I'm relaxing today.
I had a nice early day from upstate, the earliest I've ever gotten home. And I figured I would go get a massage over by your parents' house, the Aloha Sun place, which is amazing. But they bring me in. I'm in the first, you walk in and it's just curtains. There's no, rooms or anything like that. Put me in the first room. I'm laying there probably for 10 minutes. This guy, they put right next to me, but he's getting, his feet and his hands and his head done. So he's, very close to me. And it's the first time it's ever happened. I go here, once, twice a month.
You were just doing your feet?
No, I was doing full body. The guy next...
And there was no curtain?
No, there was curtain. But the guy next to me, it's the first seat for, no curtain. It's, the first, chair that they're doing hands, feet, and his head. And they get to the guy's feet, and he is giggling, bro. To the point where he's laughing. And I'm trying to relax. I wanted to go to sleep. No joke, for a good half hour, this guy was giggling, sitting next to me. It might have been the worst massage that I've had.
Are you that ticklish? Would you, if they were doing your feet?
No, dude. I'm fine. I mean, the initial touch for my feet is I jerk it a little bit, but yeah.
I think a man today should be getting pedicures.
Oh man, we're about to do.
If you got the time and the money, it's nice.
Yeah, but you ever go and you see some guy at the beach and he's got these sandals and you're like, oh, your feet look fucked up.
Wait till
know what I mean?
wait till you see
I've
my
been
feet.
looking at
Bert.
Franco's feet for 15 years now, at least, maybe 19 actually.
Mary's looking like,
And he's got those hammer toes. His pinky toe don't even touch the ground.
yeah, I've only had 8 toes touching the ground for 31 years now.
Come on, be honest with us.
I've never seen my abs, and I only have
Yo, it
8
could be a
toes
good
touching the
selling
ground.
point. You might have a small dick, but really nice feet. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I got decent feet. I'm rocking the slides today.
Yeah, Mario's a shoebie today.
So when someone sticks their fingers in between my toes, feels amazing.
Yeah, he loves it.
I don't know why.
He definitely loves it.
I don't know why. I love
You
it.
talked about this the other day off camera.
Because you brought it up. We brought up feet or something like that. You know, stick your fingers between my toes, and I'm like, ugh.
Mario hasn't stopped talking about my feet for the last like month and a half. It's actually freaking me out now.
I don't know why it's come up in conversation so much. Be honest with us. Be real. Ready? Has a girl ever sucked on your hammer toe?
No.
No? Never.
That'd be a next
There's got to be
episode.
someone out there who would love it. If you can think it, someone
man.
loves it.
After this
Oh.
episode, hit me in the DM if you want to suck on my hammer toe.
Yo, imagine you get fucking 27 DMs after this.
Oh, dude.
Do you suck toes? Who's Pete? You suck toes for sure. Do you suck toes?
He didn't say no.
He's smiling. That's yes. That's yes. Pete, you dirty dog, you.
Bert's just praying we're not asking him that question.
Bert, are you a toe sucker?
No, absolutely not.
How do you see? I don't understand. Like when you got the legs on your shoulders and the foot's right there. How do you
No,
not just
maybe a woman if she's real together, if she's real nice, but like a woman that sticks a man's foot in her mouth and their toe, she already downgraded a few
No, I'm
times.
talking about you. See, you suck
Sucking
your
a-
toes.
I have. It's not something I look forward to.
I don't know. When it's right in your face. It's
When
like,
it's younger, yeah. You know?
Mario's just like looking.
So while we're on the topic,
Yeah.
Suggs actually came up with a good question today.
Thanks,
You
Suggs.
tell.
Thanks, Suggs.
Thanks, Suggs. Suggs.
So is it easier while they're at work? Is it easier to bring home a bartender or a stripper?
I would probably. That's a really.
First off, who has done either? Bert's like, I'm out.
Bartender's kind of easy.
I'm gonna
But
go.
then usually,
See, I think stripper's easier.
yeah, if you
And I
want to
think-
come out of pocket, because most strippers are going to want something at the end. You might be able to bring them back to your house, and then all of a sudden you wake up and all your shit is gone. So either way, you're paying.
Suggs, what else you got for us over there?
Oh my God.
He never gets
How
haircut
hard was
outside.
it for Franco to find a barber in Australia?
I told Bert this story actually. When I first got there, I was just like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna even get a haircut. I'll just let it rock until I come back. And then it started getting fucking out of control as usual. So I scouted out like 5 different places, and I sat like in the waiting room and watched these guys cut hair. And no one was giving fades, nothing. All these kids have like they just skin, and then hair. It's kind of like what I have now. But I watched, no joke, 5 different like barbershops, and then there was one. The kid was actually he was from America, and really good fade. But it took me a solid like month just to find a good barber over there.
All right.
Like over here, there's barbershops everywhere, but Australia, not really, man.
One of the things, cutting hair, it's nice when you develop a relationship with a client and all of a sudden they'll fall asleep in the chair. You know that they're very comfortable with you. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
That's a good
For sure.
feeling.
For sure.
I've almost fallen asleep in your chair before, Pete. Oh, I got it. Hold on.
Yeah, I've almost fallen
I gotta
asleep with you
lean
a
this
couple
back.
times. Sometimes that's like my only relaxing part of
Yeah.
the day.
A lot of guys just sit back and enjoy the ride, you know? And you,
Yeah.
Oh,
do you,
yeah.
Do you like so? I mean, I always shower before I come in, but would you rather people shower? Or does it not matter? You're gonna wet the hair anyway, right?
yeah, as long as your hair's not really long and super wet, because then you're probably going to want to cut it dry. Same analogy is like trying to mow your lawn when it's raining out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I got guys that come in with sheetrock because I got painters that come in with paint. I got landscapers come in with grass, or straight from the gym.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
the straight from the gym's gotta suck though. Sitting in the chair, sweating,
Yeah,
Sometimes you got no
moist
choice.
and shit.
yeah.
I feel like every time I used to come from the gym, I would have like the heat flashes. Like I'd be sitting in the chair, like telling myself, "Don't sweat,"
Right.
and I'm sitting there sweating even more. I've had to get out of the chair once at the salon and walk out front.
Yeah.
I was dying in this. I literally looked at him like, dude, I might pass out. I have to walk out front real quick.
People having seizures in the chair is a lot more common than you would think.
No way.
Seizures in the chairs?
Yes, I'm sure these guys.
Oh yeah, I had a
Right?
couple of those too. Yeah.
Really?
I had a guy like, we put the cushion behind his head and like he peed himself. This happened numerous times. They
Oh
don't
my
take
God.
medications. Yeah, fishing out on the floor. Some worse, some better. Whether it's them being in a new environment, they're not taking the medication, the lights, or whatever it is.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. Looking up at the lights.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mario's looking up at the lights right now. Testing it out.
I'm tripping.
Oh, Mario, if you passed out on that chair, that would be fucking gold.
Now that would make a show.
So what's the worst experience you had so far with a barber?
The worst experience I've had with a barber? Oh, man. This is actually something that like sticks with me. I used to, when I was really young, my mom would take me to Supercuts over by Taco Bell. And the lady that was cutting my hair, she was like over by my ear, and she cut like the top piece of my ear off. And
that area takes forever.
dude,
It bleeds forever.
oh my,
Oh
it bled.
my God.
It bled. And I'm a little kid. I'm fucking
She was just motoring. She was motoring, just slipped and
and dang, I was like, and I didn't even feel it at first, but you heard her like, oh boy. And like, I looked at her hand was covered in blood. I'm like, I am fucking freaking out right now. But
How old you were?
that bled. I had to be like 10 or younger, because after that I started going to these guys. I'm telling you, I started going to these guys when my mom would let us like ride the bike further than just around the block. Like that was, Levittown Barbershop. We would ride over by Moe's to the Barber's Lounge. And then where were you after that? You Boss Cuts.
Boss cuts, yeah.
Boss Cuts.
Yeah.
How
I was
about
at the
Mary?
Barbershop Lounge for a couple of years. Then I moved to Colorado for a couple of years, and I was there. Then when I came back, I went back to Barber's Lounge, and then to Boss Cuts, and now where I am now.
How about Mario? What's the worst experience Mario had so far?
honestly, nothing crazy. I mean, there was one time where, a few times
One time.
where like the barber didn't do what I wanted him to do. Obviously, before I came here, and like it was an old man, and I felt bad, and I was younger. I'm like, I'm not gonna make him feel bad about it. So like I went to a different barbershop to have them fix it for me, like later that day.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
That's happened to, I think, a lot of barbers where, like, someone comes in and, like, I hate this haircut. Someone just gave it to me, fix it up. Usually you give it the way that they want, and then you all of a sudden you got a new client.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's so far gone that there's no coming back.
Yeah, come see me next week.
No.
Mario, you ever cut somebody's hair?
Oh yeah, I've cut like probably my nephew's hair.
I've done it twice. I absolutely
I've
violated.
shaved my dad's back with a buzzer.
Oh my god! No way.
Yep.
I think a lot of people that during the pandemic started doing it. So like I was at my house and I had plenty of clients like, oh, my wife just cut my hair. And I look at some of the pictures and you'd be like, how did that even happen? Like, how is that possible?
How did you let her do that?
Yeah.
It took a while
And
to fix
I
all
give
of
them
them.
good advice. I say, color in between the lines. Keep it easy. Once you start getting like crazy with her fades or anything like that,
Yeah.
just put on a clip, even it out, simple.
So actually, one of the first careers that I wanted to have was hairdresser. I wanted to like cut like not just guys' hair,
Yeah.
but girls' hair. I was like 5 years old. I was like, I want to cut guy and girl hair. Yeah, that's. I had a relative come from Germany. He was an Italian that moved to Germany for work,
Interesting.
and then for the holidays, he was like messing around cutting people's hair. He was a hairdresser in Germany, and I was like, I wanna cut hair. That was like one of the first.
Like that would that have been in like your Lee Road yearbook? Hairdresser?
No, by the time the 5th grade came, I wanted to be a baseball player, and that worked out pretty good.
My kids, they say they want to cut hair because they see me doing it, but I would rather them do just about anything else, to be honest with you.
Really, why is that?
There's no retirement, there's no pension, there's no sick days, there's no health insurance, there's a lot of things, and you're standing on your feet. And it's like how much longevity you
It's
have.
taxing on the body.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought there were some unions and stuff like that for hairdressers.
Not
and
really,
barbers,
but
no?
what I'm trying to say, there's like, if you
Limited.
don't go to work, you're not making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Bert, how young are you?
I'm 44.
We're almost same age.
44, baby. 44.
You don't look a day over 43 and a half.
Thank you. And I haven't treated my body like a temple when I was younger. So.
No, but Bert, the salon that Bert is at is great, man. Salon Expressions.
Yeah,
Karen is an absolute beauty.
I got a girl that's working there. She's been working that same chair for 44 years.
44 years.
That's what you know.
Not many
Wow.
people can say
Yeah,
that,
man.
you know, and especially in this industry. Because let's be honest, there's been plenty of times, okay, we tell them be there at 9. They show up at 9:30. Don't even bother unpacking your shit because you're going to be useless when we need you. Come in with relationship problem, drug problem, drinking problem, license problem, just so many different problems. And it's like they're here one day and gone the next. You know what I mean?
I've actually seen Bert tell a kid not to get in his chair.
Tell that story.
It happens most
That happened to
often.
me. That happened
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, I basically told the kid that I'm no longer cutting your hair because of how he behaved it.
Yeah.
Because I have an open appointment box, and he booked it, and he called me, said, Pete, I'm sorry, can I come in and you can give me a haircut? It was my fault. So basically, it's okay to give people a second chance because life is not all about who's right. It's like about do the right thing. You're never wrong by doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Sometimes doing the right thing isn't doing the right thing. You know what it is? You'll have clients too that what happens is sometimes it's like out of character. If they came to you 20 times in a row and wasn't late and all of a sudden they're like, hey, I just got stuck, I had a flat tire. It's not who they normally are. We all understand that.
When have you ever
But
gotten a flat tire, though?
I'm saying,
that's
oh,
such
I
a
just
bad
got into
excuse.
an accident, or hey, I'm not feeling good, or whatever, cancel last minute. It happens. It's part of the business. But when you got the same guy that out of the 5 last appointments, he's canceled 4, comes in late, you get done cutting his hair, and he's like, oh, I get paid Friday, come back Friday. After a while, it's too much of a headache.
find
Or
somebody
like,
else.
let's say I have you in my chair, and then Pete's right here next to me, and he's got a kid, and every word out of your mouth is like, fuck. Like being a parent, I don't want that around my children.
Right.
So it's just bad business. So you got to tell them, hey, listen, simmer down. This is a barbershop.
Yeah.
If he can't understand that, then find somewhere else. That
Yeah, I
is
feel like
more
those
for
are
you.
just unwritten rules of barbershop. Like, I know if I sit down and the place is empty, I'm cursing up a storm. I'm saying whatever I want to
That's
say
fine.
about this
There's
pussy,
a
that
time and a
pussy.
place.
Yeah.
I'm
when
very-
there's a kid, you hush it down.
I'm a very big believer. It's not what you do; it's how you do it. So you see how we're a few gentlemen. If you want to let a few fucks or whatever go in, that's okay. But not around women or children
no,
because it's just not in good taste. But not everybody has that same, caliber.
Suggs, you remember when we were at the dog park? When we were at the dog park and the guy, and you broke up the fight between Obi and the pit bull?
With the
And it's just we used to go to this dog park every day.
Yeah.
So women and children. My dog became like the biggest dog in the park. Me and Suggs walk in, and the biggest dog at the time, huge. There's like 25 dogs in this park.
Yeah.
Huge huge scrum. And Suggs just dives right in and rips Obi out. And we're standing there 2 minutes goes by, and then out of nowhere you hear this guy, "Where am I sending the vet bill to, motherfucker?" And I'm sitting like, is he fucking talking to me? His dog has like a cut right over his eye. And I literally, and he's like in my face. I look at the guy, I'm like, bro, there's women and children all over here. Like, can you just relax with the cursing?
accordingly.
That made him even more mad.
Yeah.
Then again, where am I sending the I'm like, bro, you're not getting any money. Do yourself a favor, just take the dog and bring him to the vet.
Yeah.
Like, get him stitched up. He leaves, comes back. It was his like motley crew. And now I think he's apologizing to us. He comes back on the other side of the fence, spits right in my face. Oh, bro. We were going out that night. I was like, I'm not getting arrested at the dog park for fucking killing a kid. And the guy got back in his car. I got home. My dad looks at me. I tell my dad the story. He's like, is he still there? My dad wanted to go with his cane down to the dog park. I'm like, dude, just leave it alone, please.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just the women and children. It's like, why are you cursing like that?
and Franco's.
But in life, it's like pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we always ask a question, especially while we're sitting down at dinner. One historical figure, this is for both of you guys, one historical figure that you could sit down to dinner with, ask any questions to that they have to answer, who would it be? We'll go Pete first.
Historical figure,
Yeah, so
no matter
like-
how far we go.
Yeah, no matter how far. Like, we've had guys give us, like, Jesus Christ. We've had Bruce Lee. I said fucking Greg Maddox.
That's a good question. What?
I stumped you. Bert, you got somebody?
Nostradamus, because he can predict the future.
No. Okay. Allegedly.
I'll take his word for it.
Come on, Pete. You got nobody?
Historical figure.
Anyone. Never mind historical.
Anyone.
Just anyone in history.
Anyone. Well, this is how it works. If I would be able to speak to somebody, who would be able to help me, guide me, and tell me. So if you really think about it, we as a present human beings, we live in the past, present, and a future in the same time. So if I can speak to myself of my future self, and I would be more than happy.
You haven't even smoked yet.
I wouldn't expect any other answer from Pete.
Oh my God, that's
like
a great.
that one.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. No one's ever gone there.
Pete, I can fuck with you. You're pretty deep.
You don't have to look at life and say, listen, is it something I'm doing every day that makes a difference? And if you cannot change somebody's life for better, and the more you give, the happier you are. Like the more you give to the girl, the happier you are. Why? By giving, you find yourself a meaning. Yes? So if you become a selfish person, what happens to you? You can only concentrate on yourself and you just go down and down, down because you no longer know yourself as a physical being. I'm talking about you are much bigger than what you can see it. You can only focus on something and that's what appears. If you can expand your thinking, you become everything. You can only know yourself as life you know it because you only concentrated on the one thing. But you are much more evolved. Your brain is an antenna to there's like a tuning to the radio station. If you tune the radio station, any channel you want, that's what information you get. Evolution happened that it gives you this such a big brain. Your head is a little bit big, but you have a capacity to connect and tune into anything you want. The only way you can do that by forgetting who you are. When you want to fall asleep, but you're in a deep thinking, can you fall asleep?
No.
No. What happens when you really drift off to sleep? You become nothing, and at the same time you become everything.
You're subconscious.
So
Pete, I think you were put on this world to like.
When you become everything.
Talk him off a ledge.
So it's simple, and I don't drink and I don't smoke. If that helps, helps. Now I'm not in a juice. So listen. Like, how can you become everything, not really understanding the purpose? Like, what's the point of being everything? When you were a kid, you had this bubble thing.
Oh yeah.
It was his, mine, yours, and everybody else's, yes? What happens when it all bursts? What happened to your bubble?
You have no bubbles left.
You become every bubble.
Cheese and rice. We should have eaten some mushrooms before this. Now we know for next time.
This is a small piece of
This
what
is
I
what
can...
I deal with every 2 weeks. All right? He's blowing.
No.
Then he wants me to know what's going on.
Yo, he's probably the best influence in your life.
Right
It's
now.
the reason why he's here. His reason why he's want to learn and expand his thinking, because everything he does is opposite of what I tell him. When I teach him something,
No way, Pete.
Yo,
so when I
me-
teach him something or I share something with him, I expect him to forget everything he heard. And by the time he's about to leave, and I said, try to forget everything I told you. He said, what do you mean? I said, how can you remember? I mean, how can you try to forget something by remembering? So that's a reverse psychology works on the people. Try to forget something you learn by saying it, let me try to forget what I learned. Remember what you learned and forget.
If you want Mario to do something, just tell him the complete opposite. The absolute complete opposite.
That's the only way.
And it
Mario,
works.
basically what Pete's telling you is he's surrounded by mirrors and reflect on yourself. You got some
Wow.
shit to work on, basically he's telling you.
Wow.
We might have to. We might have
That's the Spark Note version. Oh, man. You know how many times I sit down in this chair and I look at Pete in the mirror? I don't even look at his face. We just look at each other through the mirror and I'm like, you're going to be mad at me.
I don't know if we ever have that. Me and Rich come in and do the same thing every Thursday.
This is Rich and Famous Barbershop in East Meadow. Check them out. Great cuts.
Yep.
We got Pete. We got Bert. Bert, what's your shop again? Where you located?
On Newbridge Road, but it's about rich and famous. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm Mario. That's Franco. there's always an open seat for you at the oven.
Yes, sir. Hey, we want to thank Rich and Famous again, though, for opening their doors, cutting our hair after hours, cutting that ugly mug over here. But hey, we want to thank Bert for coming out. I know it's
Absolutely,
late
my
night
pleasure.
for you boys, so we really appreciate it.
Keep it cooking in the oven. The oven. Yep, the oven. The oven. The oven.